Think about it. How do you see a ruler who preaches loyalty but betrays his men? Or a colleague who talks of discipline yet drowns in chaos? Do you respect them, or do you mark them as frauds? Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Consistency, truth, discipline, these are not virtues. They are weapons. Without them, you are prey. With them, you are untouchable. In this video, I will give you 7 strategic laws of integrity, 7 ruthless principles sharpened from Machiavelli himself, designed not for saints, but for those who hunger for power. Here's what you can expect. I'll expose the lies of hypocrisy, show you how truth wounds today but conquers tomorrow, reveal why your word must become iron, and why your allies will either fortify you like steel or drag you into the grave. And when you reach the end, you won't just understand integrity. You'll know how to live it, weaponize it, and wield it as armor and sword. You'll walk away with 7 iron laws etched into your mind, a blueprint that makes you unbreakable, unmovable, untouchable. So let me ask you, are you ready to strip away weakness, silence hypocrisy, and claim the power that even Machiavelli himself would envy? If yes, then let's begin. Forge seamless consistency. Crush hypocrisy before it crushes you. How do you feel when a leader preaches loyalty but betrays his men? Or when a colleague brags about discipline but collapses into chaos? You don't admire them. You don't respect them. You mark them as frauds, as weaklings, as jokes. Hypocrisy is not a small flaw. It is decay. It is the slow rot that eats away at authority. The moment your actions betray your words, you split. And once split, you are no longer whole. You are fractured, laughable, despised. A hypocrite is not just untrusted. He is mocked, ridiculed, and eventually discarded. Now turn the blade inward. How many times have you spoken of loyalty, then vanished when tested? How many times have you demanded discipline from others, yet indulged yourself in weakness? Each contradiction erases your authority. Each betrayal chips away at the steel of your presence. Soon you are not feared, not respected, only tolerated until the moment you are replaced. Machiavelli wrote, "It is unnecessary for a prince to have all the good qualities, but very necessary to appear to have them." Why? Because consistency is armor. Contradiction is poison. A ruler who appears seamless, even if only in appearance, projects inevitability. And inevitability is power. And today, the world is nothing but eyes, screens, cameras, recordings, judgment at every corner. You cannot hide fracture. Preach one thing, live another, and you will be branded forever. In this age, the hypocrite is hunted down and exposed for all to see. And once exposed, you never recover. So here is your command. Before every action, pause. Ask yourself, does this align with the image I demand the world to kneel before? If the answer is no, then do not act. Better silence than exposure. Better stillness than fracture. Consistency is not comfort. It is iron. Each time your words and actions align, you add another plate of armor to your body. Each time you fracture, you strip the armor away and expose your flesh to the blade. Consistency makes you untouchable. Hypocrisy makes you prey. Master yourself, and you do more than survive. You control perception itself. And when you control perception, you bend men, crowds, and nations to your will.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
2. Bleed for brutal truth. Bleed for truth, never bend for comfort. Weak men cannot stomach truth. They dodge it. They dilute it. They hide behind half-sentences and excuses, thinking cowardice will shield them. It doesn't. Every lie they tell, every silence they choose, is a nail in their coffin. They believe they've escaped danger, but all they've done is brand themselves as liars too pitiful to face reality. Convenience whispers softly, lie, it's easier, stay silent, it's safer. But reality is not swayed by whispers. Reality doesn't vanish because you ignore it. It waits in the shadows, grows in silence, and then emerges with fury. And when it does, it obliterates the liar first, because the liar has no shield, no credibility, no armor left. Machiavelli himself admitted that deception has its place. Yes, men can be deceived. Yes, the masses often prefer comforting illusions, but here lies the fatal truth. Illusions always collapse. A ruler who builds his kingdom on lies shines for a season, but when truth emerges, it doesn't just topple his rule, it annihilates it. Collapse isn't optional. Collapse is inevitable. Look at history. Leaders brought down not by their crimes, but by the exposure of their lies. Richard Nixon did not fall because of Watergate itself, but because of the cover-up. Bill Clinton was impeached not because of an affair, but because of perjury. Modern CEOs are destroyed not by missteps, but by falsified reports. Athletes lose their legacies not for failure on the field, but for lying about what they did off it. The act wounds, the lie kills, always. And today, in an age where nothing stays hidden, where every message is recorded, every file leaked, every whisper amplified, the coward who bends the truth is already dead. Screenshots, recordings, leaked documents. They don't forgive, they expose. And once your reputation is branded with deceit, no amount of apology will resurrect it. So what is the path of the strong? You bleed for truth. You speak it when it scorches your throat. You deliver it when it costs you allies, comfort, even safety. Each time you choose truth over comfort, you sharpen yourself into a weapon. Each truth spoken under pressure is a scar you carry proudly, because scars are proof that you endured what cowards could not. Do not mistake this law for sainthood. Machiavelli would not tell you to be a priest. He would tell you to face reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. To wield truth not as a virtue, but as a weapon. Truth makes you predictable to no one and trustworthy to everyone who matters. It hardens your reputation into something unbreakable. Remember this: truth wounds today, but fortifies tomorrow. Lies comfort today, but destroy forever. A man who bleeds for truth becomes the rock others cling to in the storm. And that trust, that reliability, is the foundation of power. Bleed for truth, and men will follow you into fire. Bend for comfort, and you will be discarded with contempt. Law 3. Seal your word in iron. Make your word iron, or say nothing at all. A promise is not a sentence. It is not casual air escaping your mouth. A promise is a contract of power, a bond of iron. When you fulfill it, your voice carries the weight of law. When you break it, your name becomes filth, spit on, unfit for trust, unfit for leadership. Weak men toss promises like coins in the dirt. They speak carelessly, bind themselves casually, and when the cost comes due, they scurry into the shadows. They whisper excuses, hide behind circumstance, and pray no one notices. Fools. People always notice. People always remember. A broken promise is carved into memory deeper than betrayal itself, and once you are branded unreliable, you are finished. Machiavelli warned of this centuries ago. He admitted that rulers sometimes must betray promises when survival demands it. But he also declared, no prince can afford the reputation of betrayal. To be known as ruthless is dangerous, but survivable. To be known as faithless is death. A cruel ruler may still command loyalty. A ruler without reliability commands nothing. And look at our modern world. In business, handshake deals still carry more power than written contracts, because a man's word is his essence. In politics, voters forgive brutality but not unreliability. In war, armies follow generals who keep their commitments, even when the cost is blood. But abandon your word, and your allies scatter. Your soldiers desert. Your partners plot your downfall. So what must you do? Speak less. Promise rarely. Hold your words like a blade you unsheath only when necessary. But when you speak, make it unbreakable. If it costs you, pay it. If it hurts you, bleed for it. Better to crawl through fire to keep your word than to be branded unreliable. And if circumstances turn against you, do as Machiavelli advised. Craft the appearance of fulfillment. Never let the world see you as unfaithful. The world forgives ruthlessness. It never forgives unreliability. Every unbroken promise is a stone in the fortress of your reputation. Each one makes your voice heavier, harder, sharper, until one day your word alone commands loyalty, obedience, even fear. Men stake their fortunes, their loyalty, even their very lives on you, because your word is not sound, it is law. A man whose word is iron commands armies. A man whose word is dust commands nothing. Speak less, but when you do, speak as a king. 4. Seize total responsibility. Own everything or own nothing. Pathetic men blame. They point fingers at partners, rivals, fate, or fortune. They whimper about bad luck or unfair circumstances. They shift guilt like beggars shifting scraps. And in doing so, they reveal themselves as weaklings, unfit for command, unfit for respect. Blame is not protection. It is exposure. The instant you blame, the world sees you as fragile. And fragile men are discarded. Strong men do the opposite. They seize responsibility like a sword. They claim disasters as their own, not to wallow, but to dominate. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a weapon. The moment you say, "This is my responsibility," you cease being a victim. You transform into a commander. You stop being a man who explains and become a man who acts. Machiavelli himself praised this in the brutal life of Cesare Borgia. When fortune betrayed him, Cesare did not sulk. He did not whine. He recalculated. He struck again. Even bloodied, he inspired fear, because men saw he never flinched, never hid, never shifted blame. And fear of such unbreakable resolve, is power. And today, the same law rules. In business, leaders who excuse themselves are mocked. In politics, men who hide behind circumstance are despised. Rivals smell blood the instant you point fingers. But responsibility, even in failure, commands respect. People can follow a man who loses battles as long as he stands firm and owns the loss. They will never follow a man who hides behind excuses. So here is your command. When you fail, do not dodge. Do not disguise. Do not whine. State it directly. This is my responsibility. Then in the same breath, deliver your plan to fix it. That shift, owning and commanding, marks the difference between a coward crawling through life and a ruler shaping his own destiny. Every failure you own hardens you. Every responsibility you claim sharpens you. And soon, your reputation becomes unshakable. The man who never runs, the leader who never hides. Allies will trust you. Enemies will fear you. Crowds will respect you. Blame is the language of slaves. Responsibility is the crown of kings. Claim it, and men will follow you, even through fire, even through ruin, for a man who owns everything can never be broken. The Whippies stand on stone and never stand, bend for no one, break for nothing. Spineless men are everywhere. They shift their values with the wind, like reeds swaying whichever way the storm blows. By day they preach honesty, by night they drown in lies. They roar loudly among the weak, pretending to be lions, but crawl like worms when faced with the strong. Do you respect such men? No. You sneer at them. You spit on their weakness. Every time you bend, you fracture. Every compromise is a crack in your armor. And when respect dies, power follows it to the grave. No man, no leader, no ruler can command if his principles change with the tide. A flexible spine may save you for a moment, but in the long game, it ensures your collapse. Machiavelli knew this well. He warned that a prince who wavers, who changes his ground constantly, is despised, mocked, and eventually crushed. Why? Because the appearance of immovability radiates inevitability, and inevitability is one of the greatest weapons of power. When people believe you cannot be bent, cannot be shifted, cannot be broken, they begin to accept you as destiny itself. And destiny is never questioned, it is obeyed. So define your non-negotiables, carve them into stone, unalterable. Decide what principles you will never betray: truth, loyalty, discipline, respect, and then hold them as if they were law written in your blood. Test yourself. Can you hold to them under pressure? Can you hold to them when tempted with wealth, status, or survival itself? If not, your so-called principles are nothing but sand. The world respects the immovable. In business, partners will follow the CEO who stands firm in vision, not the one who bends to every investor whim. In politics, nations rally behind the leader who projects certainty, not the one who dithers. In war, soldiers follow the general who never wavers, not the one who compromises when steel meets steel. Stand unbending, and you radiate inevitability. Radiate inevitability, and the world bows. For when you refuse to bend, you cease being a man. They see you as a mountain, and no one dares challenge the mountain. 6. Weaponize transparency. Live so openly your enemies choke on suspicion. What do you hide? What secret, if revealed, would shatter you? That fear alone is proof of your weakness, because what cannot endure the light is already your doom. If exposure terrifies you, then you've already lost. Secrecy does not shield you, it corrodes you. Hidden deeds rot in the dark, feeding suspicion, and suspicion is often deadlier than truth itself. The hidden always leaks, and when it does, it destroys not just your plans, but your reputation. Men forgive mistakes, but they never forgive the stench of concealed rot. Machiavelli understood this with brutal clarity. He warned that suspicion kills rulers faster than steel. A prince, surrounded by whispers of corruption and deceit, invites rebellion before the blade is ever drawn. The lesson? Appear clean. Even if you conceal, inspire confidence, even when rivals pry into every corner. If you must hide, hide nothing that would damn you when revealed. And today, there is no true secrecy. Every whisper is recorded. Every betrayal is captured. Screenshots, leaks, cameras, microphones. Every shadow is lit. In this digital coliseum, transparency is no longer a virtue. It is survival. It is armor. So live as if the world is watching, because it is. Build your life so that when exposed, your actions strengthen you rather than weaken you. Craft a reputation immune to discovery. Do not fear scrutiny, thrive under it. Turn visibility into a weapon. Because here's the truth. Transparency disarms suspicion, and suspicion is your enemy's greatest weapon. Strip it away, and they choke. Starve them of shadows, and you become untouchable. A man immune to exposure is a man who cannot be blackmailed, cannot be cornered, cannot be destroyed. Live openly, but with discipline. Conduct yourself so that, when the world peers into your life, your enemies find nothing to wound you with and choke on their own frustration. Transparency, wielded correctly, is invulnerability. Below 7, purge the corrupt. Keep the iron. Your allies define your destiny. Look around your circle. Who sits beside you? Are they disciplined or reckless, loyal or opportunistic? Do they sharpen you or rot you from within? If you see liars, traitors, and weak men, and you whisper to yourself, "I'm different, their corruption won't touch me," then you're already a fool. Rot spreads, cowardice seeps, betrayal contaminates. Stay among them long enough, and their stench becomes your own. This is no theory. This is iron law. Machiavelli declared, "The first opinion one forms of a ruler's intelligence is by observing the men around him." The world does not judge you by your speeches or intentions. It judges you by your circle. If they are corrupt, you are corrupt. If they are iron, you are iron. Your allies are your mirror, and your destiny is etched in their reflection. And here lies the trap of weak men. They keep corrupt company out of sentiment, laziness, or fear of solitude. They tolerate liars because they crave flattery. They keep cowards close because cowards never challenge them. But this is suicide. Liars will betray you, cowards will abandon you, and opportunists will sell you for a single coin. So what must you do? Purge. Cut away the rotten branches without hesitation or apology. Audit your circle with ruthless precision. Identify the weak, the corrupt, the disloyal, and sever them like infected flesh. Sentiment is weakness. Tolerance is poison. Keep them, and you inherit their downfall. Then replace them deliberately. Surround yourself with men of principle, men of discipline, men of iron. Allies who sharpen your mind, harden your will, and fortify your authority. Build a circle so strong that their integrity becomes your shield, and their strength becomes your arsenal. Because the truth is merciless. The corrupt weaken you. The principled fortify you. Your circle is your reflection, your allies are your armor, and your destiny is their shadow. Choose carefully, cut ruthlessly. For in the end, you do not rise or fall alone. Your allies drag you upward, or they drag you into the grave. Choose your circle, and you choose your fate.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.